Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all rested. A few days off was good. All right, so the last of the, we assume the last of the stimulus is in, and I don't know. The response is what was expected. You would think that maybe there would have been a little bit more of a push above the current area, which it hasn't done. So I look at this a little bit of a muted response to which should be the last injection for this market of liquidity. It needs any more, I don't know. Something really must be wrong, but we shall see. It was an initial rejection of the highs, but that didn't go down. So we got a topping tail ignored. So buyers continued to come. And you can see on the daily chart, it's right up there against the all-time highs. I don't know how far it can get today, but this bottoming tail bar is the clear big line in the sand down below. That should not be violated. And it probably won't be this week, I suspect. Kind of thinking it's going to be another uh, somewhat like the prior week as we go into the end of the year. More or less somewhat of a trading range. We'll just see how far this can get to the upside by 10 o'clock or so, which is the first reversal period around 10, and then the other one at 10:30. So we'll see if this ends like this with this kind of a bar, and that would suggest then higher, or whether it ends with a topping tail bar. So down below this pre-market low here, it should be bombs away to the downside, and I don't know if that'll happen, but just set an alert down there, and we'll see if this actually breaks because of the way it went up. There's nothing to stop it from dropping. Support 37.65. Are we talking SPX, McGraw, or the futures? 65. If you mean, okay, so you're not answering me. So I'm going to assume you mean SPX, which I think would be okay. 65, 37. Oh, on the upside. Yeah. Um, well, it's an arbitrary number. Um, just take a look at what the open interest is up there. And, if you got a cluster of big numbers, then I would say yes. If we look at this as a range and say, wow, could you be like a monster day? And it's 45 points above there, I would say absolutely yes. Yeah, I think that would be fine. 37.65. Probably be pretty slim possibilities of getting up there. And of course, 36.40. Um, I don't think it's going below there either. So, you know, this little area right there, well, it's they're trading right up here, so it wouldn't take much to get them to drop. So I think that would be a little bit too close for comfort. Okay. So Q's breaking out here, pushing up, uptrend, so on and so forth. New all-time highs. Where will it stop? Well, maybe 13,000. Just kind of you can see on the weekly, it's just been kind of a grind. We've got this is the first day. We don't know where this is going to end. If we were looking at this bar at the end of today, well, then I'd be thinking, okay, maybe a 1, 2, 3, or it just keeps going into the end of the week for a end of year, run. You can see here on the 5-minute chart, it's getting a little extended in the short term and beginning to stall. So I'd be a little cautious at the open as to any kind of pullbacks, but we'll see, what's gapping and where things might go. I think the Dow has just been in this choppy range going on now for well over a month. And can it get above here today? Or does it again get rejected up here? Not as strong. It hasn't been. And just pivot highs, pivot lows, and just see where it goes here today. If it can actually break out. The Russell, which everybody knows has been leading, it's up here again and continuing to push higher. A bit of a stall there. 9 o'clock. What's the 1 9? What is that? 7 o'clock. Stalled out and starting to come back in again. Got support here and detail. Little topping pattern going on there. Over for the open. Got this shelf of support. And usually, at the open, these things pull back. It just pops right back up again. So I'm gonna just sit back here at the open for a little while and just assess what's going on since this is stalling here. Bonds are down, of course. Markets are up. Just going nowhere, which has been the case for a couple of months now. Just stall there, and we're just waiting to see whether it can pop through resistance, break down through support. I think that's going to be a big event, whichever way it happens, since this congestion area has been going on for again, a couple of months now. So if it breaks to the downside, those that have been buying here, there's going to be sellers. They're buying at this prior low, anticipation that it begins to go up, and it's not happening. And if it does, of course they'll add and it'll push up. But if it breaks below here, it's going to bring in sellers. And it happened once and it just popped back up. So the one time was okay. The second time, I don't think it's going to pop back up. But hey, let's wait and see what happens. It's just basically a pattern that says stay away. It's just too much confusion going on. Crude oil, flip flopping around here. More indecision. I had a nice big run. It's coming in near $50. See what that does. Got that going. Interesting. It was down a little while ago, and look at the rally that came off of this low here. Right? As soon as it came down near that prior pivot low, buyers came in aggressively. So, gold has been, got damaged earlier, and it's what I call repairing the damage. And this is beginning to look like a downside shakeout. So as it comes up into this resistance area, we want to see that it actually can consolidate here for a while. That's what it's beginning to do, and begins to take on the shape of a pattern that has the potential to make a significant move. And so, I forget whatever happened on that time, but it's a textbook type of a shakeout pattern where now we get some sideways movement. And then when we get a bar that we call, okay, here's an event. So what is that? Well, kind of a correction bar, or a bar that says, hey, there was this significant move, and these are what's happening right now, relatively insignificant. Tail on the top, tail on the bottom, so far inside weak, beginning to go on here. And so we get some type of a bar where maybe or it gaps down and just comes right back up again, and you get a big green bar, and that's like, okay, a little consolidation, or you just buy it with a stop down here and then look to add for it to start to move up. But we don't have that yet, so we wait. Silver has been doing better, and You can see. So this had a little bit of a, I guess, less significant or minor type of push lower, and it came back up and it's already cleared the high. So there was the wide range bar. The open lower and right back up into it. So get a little ahead of itself, topping tail, and so far that's ignored, chopping around. So this is leading the way and looks like it's going to continue to do that. So it's going to go higher, and I think gold is going to follow. And unfortunately, the gold miners don't look as good, but that was the case before as well. And you can see they're kind of just grinding, but look at the nice little move up that occurred. So more stimulus, ideas of inflation, gold is going up, and which I think will be a theme for next year. And let's see what the euro's doing here. Continues to hold up here. Okay, dollar just been going down for some time now. There we go. Type it in. Hasn't reached its destination. Got my alert down there, down here near this prior low. I mentioned in the video, I mentioned here last week, keep an eye on these short-term interest rates. Beware if they start to perk up in 2021, because no one's expecting it. So maybe that holds to be true. That's going to be something you're going to want to know if they start to move higher. Something we'll be monitoring here. Of course, my alert goes off. I'll let you know. And as we go into here this week, our internals continue to be careful. We've got deteriorating breath. We'll see if where today ends, of course, and if we get an improvement. But we've got this deteriorating breath, making lower highs and lower lows. It's retraced up toward the zero line. We've got sentiment still up here at a bearish level. So I'm not so excited about this week. More for me, looking for day trading opportunities, and we'll see where these things end day to day. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Ended a little early today. I hope everyone had a great vacation. We still have another holiday coming up. Friday, obviously. No half day off, though. So we go all the way to Thursday, December 31. All right, so we had a lot of bullish new trades coming into today. So to the advisory, I'm okay if credit spreads hit, or shorts, because anything gapping down is relative weakness. My Dow 30, I don't have a single red one. I have Honeywell and UNH that are gray, which means no pre-market movement. Everything else green. Any questions on open trades, just ask me. Otherwise, I'll go right to a bunch of gappers here. JR is asking about Frog. That we actually have a put spread, a 60 way the heck down here. We have a 60 and lower put spread. It was a beautiful breakout on Friday. And it closed with a topping tail. Right now, pre-markets, light volume, but it looks relatively flat. And I'm not interested as a swing trade because of the topping tail, but maybe day trade. I'm not going to be rushing into anything either with these big gaps, but they're so far holding pretty darn well. This one, why am I looking at this? Just because McGraw told me it's coming off a the short selling list, the lockup period. This one, 29 bucks, big gap breakout. Looks like all-time highs. We'll watch that on a pullback. APRE. Looks like a bio disaster of the day. And this is exactly what happens. So why we don't like trading bios, particularly the ones that I call them one-trick ponies, or any business for that matter, any business whatsoever. If your success or failure is hinging upon one trick, and that one trick fails, then you got problems on your hands. Hey, Sam, and a couple others, if you can change your drop down, all panelists and attendees, talking about that, since Zoom is still retarded in that department. It's gapping down here. And I mentioned, we actually had a put spread in this that we managed to close at a profit. And then I've been saying for a while, I just think this thing looks like it wants to go to the 200 here. It really does. And now it's down 4 bars and gapping lower. So it's just making the entry and the stop difficult. But I like this lower, both as swing trades and selling out of the money call spreads. So Sam's asking about DPW. Yeah, it's on my list. Yep. It's in here somewhere. DPW, or maybe I had a different, oh no, it's right here, 453. Yeah, I like DPW. Let's say the gap's not too big. Big, buyers, it broke this downtrend and it's going sideways. So if it can break out, then all of that becomes support. So yeah, that's a great looking gap trade. So, what do I do next? You just saw it. I put it in a 5-minute thumbnail and see how it sets up. I don't do anything in the first 5 minutes, particularly on Mondays. I think it's best to wait 10 minutes as a general rule. But let's see how it sets up in the first 30 minutes. I don't know what's going on here, but a big gap breakout. But I don't like the way it trades. I don't know what they do, but it kind of looks like a toy. DoorDash, recent IPO. I mentioned last week that I was in an optionable, and they're fairly liquid. That this looked like a put spread candidate. I did read in today's journal. Well, I didn't read it, but the headline said California is trying to pass some laws that are going to be unfavorable to this company and its competitors. So that's something to look at. California was also the wonderful state that, as you remember, tried going after Lyft, taxing them, making them employees. Lyft is still bullish. Uber, no, I like the pattern in Lyft. Not on Lyft. Oh, and look at up to 60 pre-market. This thing has just been on a tear. And Greg was mentioning in his weekend video, big wide range bar after going straight up. It accelerates here. But that thing got beat up. Wow. I didn't realize this thing came back out in like 08. That was a multi-year bottoming process there on the monthly. CLSK gapping up 27 bucks, but it's far from the 20. So not interested. SBE 49 bucks. And I like it on a pullback. This is this is what we call an ascending triangle. you got higher lows and it cracked a neckline here last week. So the entry, that was a nice powerful range expansion breakout bar to all-time highs. So that's actually worth watching it, even if it takes a couple days to set up. EQOS, never heard of this guy, but it's a big gap. Big gap. Nah, it looks like a toy. I don't know. You know, we all know that EVs, the electric vehicles, are in vogue right now. Yeah, Bitcoin, look at Riot here, gapping up again. That's one of the Bitcoin stocks. And I was wanting to get into this core long. And I've been watching it every day, and it's just not giving us a no-brainer entry. But yeah, Bitcoin's up at all-time highs. Williams asking about plan 70. Yeah, wide range breakout. And there was no trading on Friday, obviously. So you got to, when I say 3 days back, so that was Tuesday. Tuesday had a nice breakout bar, and now these are consolidation bars. So yeah, I like that. Yep, put that on our list. BPST for William. It's a breakout, sure. It's trading kind of in a sloppy trading range, but it's kind of a 1, 2, 3 breakout. It looks fine. I actually put Yelp as a new long and had a positive mention in Barron's, and I like the turn here at the 50. I like the buy setup on the weekly, but now it's gapping a buck 40. Vivo. I don't like the way that trades at all, Gertz. Look at these bars; they're so unpredictable. But and there's no volume here, but you can keep an eye on it. Maybe 30-minute high. CVAC, $92. It's a nice bearish gap. It's worth watching. Maybe 30-minute low. Target gap fill, which is $6 away. So this is a good short watch. ABB, another recent IPO that I personally was shocked that it made new highs like that. But I guess I shouldn't be because it's an IPO and there's very little price history. Mara, $14, far from the 20, gap and resistance. My girl told me lemonade here. Lockup is coming. It's interesting, McGraw, that it's public information when that buyback, I mean the IPO, is released. And why was it rallying like a machine last week? So I don't know if today's gap down is just because of the lockup or if there's other bad news. But yeah, this is a definite call spread candidate. Yeah, let me put that in the window. Then back. Yeah, yeah, back. It's gapping over the entry, so you might get a better entry on a pullback, Khaled. But yeah, we like the banks. XLF looks good. Yeah, XLF looks good. We're still in XBI in our ETF trader. We had a beautiful breakout here, just a no-brainer. So we have a nice open gain in that, and we're just sitting back and in trail mode. Let's see. All right, is Fubo? We still have We still have a call spread on this. This thing went vertical, bear gap down. So that's acting well. I was going to get us into another one, another call spread, but do you remember how preposterous the spreads were? The Papo was asking about IR, breakout and correction bar. Yeah, yeah, that looks great. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that looks weekly chart, all-time highs. It's far from the 20, but it's been resting for 2 months. So that makes the extinction okay. SMH, I don't. That is not a double bottom on Parham the way we define it. A double bottom is a big momentum move, and then just eyeballing. We want less than a third retracement, and then a retest. This is a retest of support. Yes, it is, but it's not what we call a double bottom. I actually have AMD on my short. Was it AMD? Uh, NVIDIA I have as a short watch too. This thing looks like it just wants to roll on the weekly. On Facebook last week, that's weak. I like that as a call spread under last week's low. David Bonos here, drop down. Apple 134. It's a bullish gap and it's acting very bullish pre-market. So if you're wanting to go long, and what I mean by that is timing it with the broader markets, right? Because we aren't just going to start buying it with a big gap up. Then it's a candidate. It's a candidate. It's far from the 20 for a swing, but let's see what it does. Right now things are selling off a little bit from their pre-market highs, which is predicted. So we're doing absolutely nothing. Square here has still had a nice gap up. It's had the run with the craze on Bitcoin. Loke, never heard of Loke. That's nothing to do with it now. FUV, it's a breakout watch. It's also been going sideways here for a month. Being nothing. Right, we talked about PA. That's I mean, think about this, folks. The stock went from 10 to 15 in 2 weeks. If I were long that thing, I would be selling in the strength. I'd just be selling half here now, and then whatever your trail methodology would be. In QMS, bullish gap, but far from the 20. GME, oh, this was up $2 earlier. Look at the pre-market was 22.50. It's selling off now. I don't know what's up with MicroStrategy. Look at that big old gap. Wow. These runs are just unbelievable to me. Look at this, 150 to 360. Incredible. This looks like a penny stock toy, big gap, no interest. Whiskey Bravo had earnings, I think. IPOC went vertical. Fubo we talked about. See, now it's reversing. Let me see where we're at on our call spread. Yeah, that makes sense, Arun. Yeah, EVs and Bitcoin. Oh, there was a really interesting CNBC posted a very interesting poll. However they do that, I don't know, but they said, hey, and I don't know if it's millennials or Robinhood people. I don't know where their poll came from. All right, I'm not ignoring you. I'm working on Fubo here. But they said, hey, if you were going to make your first trade right now, do you want to do it into Bitcoin? Do you want to buy options on something? Or shoot, I forget what the third one was. But it's the clear majority of people said they'd rather buy Bitcoin right now. But we got 70, 90. So that, that's a sentiment gauge. That's totally telling you sentiment. Oh, there was another article in the journal today that said that I think we're back up to, I don't know if it said record or whatever, but you'll get the point. They said monster margin, monster margin debt. So that means people are just, bull, bull, bull. Let's just keep buying, plowing more money. 45, 22. This Fubo was a fantastic trade. And do you all remember, I remember people, there was somebody, we had this talk the day I put that trade on. They're like, are you crazy? You're shorting the strongest sector out there? I said, yep. Because we're